Welcome back, CSE 102, to part 2 of our PP05 office review using Google Slides. And where we left off, we made our 3 slides, and that's all we need. And what we could do is add a final slide. At the end here, we can just say insert, and we could insert just something like this, section header, just something like that. And we could put that at the end. And I could just go here and say the end. And I could still just format it. If I want to center it, I'll use the align feature here. If I want to use the color, kind of the off-white color, I could use the A thing and use my custom color that I already used, and I could put some graphic at the end if I want. Now, speaking of graphics, we're going to put some graphics on here. Now, I'm also going to show you about graphics a little bit. So one thing, I'm going to start with a Google Slides logo, and I put PNG. One other thing you can do to help you find transparent images, because sometimes you'll click on them and you'll still get that checkerboard, and they're not really ping images. But what you can do is if you go to Tools, when you go to Google to search, so I'm just searching here and I put Google Slides, and you could start off with Docs or anything. If you go to Tools and say Size, I'm going to choose Medium so it's not gigantic. And then under Color, if you choose Transparent, that's going to make sure that I have transparent background. And the first thing I'll do is I'll look for something that has those images. So here's one there that has the 3 images. I used one with 3 images and it had an extra one that I just cropped out. But here's one that has that. I'll see what that looks like. And if you see it start out white and then you see the checkerboard, then you know you really have a ping. Because if you just see the checkerboard and you never see it white, it doesn't mean it's a real ping. So you'll see what I mean. If I copy this, if I right click and I say copy image, and I go back here, and I'm just going to go here and just do a paste. You could do Control V or Command V, whatever you need to do. And there it is. And I'm going to put this down. It doesn't look bad up there. I had a different one on the other slide. I think on the other one, I had the 3 in a row. Actually, it had a different one, had some other graphic on here, and I just kind of cropped it off. But on this one, I'll put that up there, and then maybe I'll put a Google down there or something like that. You could put the Drive logo, if I could find the Drive logo. And there you can see it was white, and then it became solid. So I'm going to right-click on this and say Copy Image. And I'll just go down here and paste it. Now you could use a Google logo or something like that, but I think that looks good like that. So I'll put that down in the corner. It kind of goes with the stuff I'm using up there. So it gives kind of a diagonal kind of look to it. So whenever you put images on here, you don't just randomly put them around. You want to get kind of a top left to bottom right kind of movement. It gives you some dynamic to your slide, because people read kind of left to right, top to bottom. So it's kind of moving you down there. Now I could have switched these around too. I could put this down here. I don't know if that'll look as good. I'd probably want to make this bigger down here. I could do something like that and make this a little smaller up here. So whatever you want to do. Like I said, you could use the Google G or something like that. So I'll leave it like that for now. Whatever you want to do, I'll move it in a little bit, only because that Y is kind of leading your eye in there. So that looks all right. If you click off it, doesn't look too bad. And then on this one, I'm going to put a Google Docs one. So that's easy enough. I'm just going to go up here and say Google Docs logo, and it's still searching. Again, I use Tools, I use Transparent, I'm using Medium, and then I'll just refresh my search here. And here's one that says Google Docs, and that got Transparent. So I'll try this. I'll right-click on it and copy image, and it's coming in real big, so just scale it down. I'll put it over there. I don't like it saying Google Docs as much. And if you don't like it saying Google Docs, then you can just use the crop tool here. And if you hover over here until you get that big arrow, you could just kind of crop that part out. And I could keep moving this in. You don't have to keep moving it in, but it just makes it easier to move around. Click off. That looks better. So that looks nice. And you might want to line it up with things so it kind of has some alignment features. You don't just want to stick it up here. You might want to line it up so it lines up with the Google Docs lettering there up at the top, so your eye kind of goes across. All right, so that's that one. And then here I'll just find a Google Sheets one. Just change this to Sheets. And again, if you have one with type on, you might be able to just kind of edit it out. I'll click on this one, and there's the transparent background. I'll right-click on it, copy image, paste it. If it's too big, just scale it down by grabbing on the corner, and I'll do the same thing. Now you could put drop shadows and things like that on here if you want, although this one looks like it might have a drop shadow already, so that looks okay. And then finally, I'll get one for Google Slides. Here's one. That's kind of neat. Let's check out that. I'll right-click on that. It looks a little different than the other one, but I'll copy that image. And that one's really big. Scale down. And there, that looks pretty good. And we're almost done. So we have graphics on all our slides now. We have them kind of color coded so they don't all look the same. One thing with a PowerPoint presentation or with a slides presentation, it's nice to have some variation. Here's blue color for Docs, green color for Google Sheets, orange color for Google Slides. You want them to be consistent, but you don't want them to just go on and on and on, be monotonous. So this kind of breaks up the monotony by using some different color here, but there's elements that also make it consistent. It's formatting, the fonts, and all that. And what we're going to do here is just add a transition. So I'm just going to click on the top slide, and we use this in another exercise. And then if you click there, if you can't find anything on the right, just click on transition, and you could choose what kind. And they have cube, you know, they have all these different things here. Dissolve. I'll try a different one. I'll try cube. I don't think I had used that. If you're not sure what it looks like, hit play. And that doesn't look much different than the other one, but I'll try that. I'll use cube. And if you hit stop, then you can apply to all slides, and you'll see these things going on all the slides. So that means when you present, which I'll go here and I'll present it, and I'll just hit my space bar. There's the cube. Oh yeah, it does look like a cube. Isn't that neat? And there's that cube. There's that cube. And there's my ending. And remember, you can animate these. When you're done here, just hit the escape button to get back to where you were. Now you could animate things if you want. If you went in here and actually animated these paragraphs, you could do that, or just animate this in one block like this, just to show you an example. Even if I just went here and I said add animation, I'm not going to do it by paragraph. I'll just do it for the whole thing, and I'll hit play. And now when I hit my space bar, it makes that fade in. So if you want to add an animation just by doing it on each one, see, I'll stop this to get out of there, and then I'll go here and I'll do the same thing, because that wasn't actually that hard to do. Add animation, just don't check by paragraph, and I'll just leave it on fade in, and I'll just go on the last one here, and I'll click here. So I'll hit add animation, and then you don't have to check by paragraph, and you can just hit play, and look at that. So I'll go back one more time, and I'll present it, and this is what it should look like when you're done. And I'll go back to the beginning, and there's my start, hit my space bar, there's my cube, there's my content, there's my next slide, there's my fade in content, there's my next slide, there's my fade in content, and there's my the end. And whatever you'd want to put on there. If you want to put something on there too, you could throw some little graphics, some cutesy little thing on there at the end if you want. If not, you don't have to. Now when you're done, what you're going to do is you're going to do share. And I'm not sure what I did here. I'm going to copy this link. Usually it says get share thing. I'm not sure. Anyone with a link. All right, permission updated. That's what it should look like. Anyone with a link. So now I'll copy the link in case yours said that. Mine didn't do that previous time I did it. So I'm going to copy this link, and I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go to coursework, and I'm going to go down to unit, I think it's unit 11, Office PowerPoint. Now again, you don't have to upload it because you're not doing a PowerPoint, and you just have to add a comment. And just click on the insert link, and that's where you're going to paste your link, and just choose new window and hit OK, and that's all you should have to do. So then you're all done, and don't worry if it says you must upload a file. I'll know that it's there. So if you're using Google Slides or you're trying out Google Slides, that's what you're going to do. You're going to have something that looks like this, and that should be it. You're going to end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slides at the end. That's all you need. And if you're using Google Slides, that's what you should have. So good job. That's your last exercise for the semester.